Oh, hi there. My name is LaDonna Wyatt, and welcome to the phenomenal Harper Tubman House, where your dreams become realities. I am currently the first floor RA for Harper Tubman House, and I am reapplying in hopes of receiving another position as an RA in Harper Tubman House for next year. Enjoy! Hey, Lex!
Hey, Lou.
Hey, you busy right now?
No, I'm good.
Can you come help me finish my board?
Of course, yeah.
Alright, let's go! Hey, Lex, now that we finished the board, what do you think it needs?
I think it looks good, but you forgot your apostrophe.
Oh wait, you're right. Let me just add the apostrophe right there. Better?
Perfect.
Alright, thanks for your help. I really appreciated it. Bye, Steve. Hey everyone, to take a break from this skit, I would like to explain what this is all about. Throughout my matriculation as my first year as an RA, I realized quickly how important teamwork and collaboration is to make an effective and well-functioning community for all our residents. I quickly learned that just doing my job efficiently and believing that everyone else on my team would do their job efficiently would not be the best way to create a healthy and inviting environment for all our residents. So, after communicating with my team, we all had an understanding that we would work together. And throughout this year, I've learned to lean on them, to trust them, and to always come to them if I had any questions or I had any misunderstandings or if I just wanted to talk. And throughout this year, I've learned that teamwork isn't an individual sport. It's not how well I do something, how well they do something, but it's how well we do things together and how we support the entire community. Hey, Faith.
Hey, LaDonna.
How you feeling?
I'm doing good. How are you?
You know, quarantine life is okay. How's quarantine been treating you? How's classes going?
Classes are good. I'm getting all my work done. My grades look great. But life, man, it's something else.
Yeah, you know, we all going through it. You just gotta stick through it. I hope everything works out. How?
Appreciate it.
Everything at home going good? You getting along with your family?
Yeah, it's just not used to having all 5 of us here. So it's something different.
You ready to come back to Morgan?
Most definitely. If I could come back today, I would. Take me back.
Alright, well, I'm glad you're doing fine. I just called to check on you and see how you were doing.
Thank you. I miss you.
Miss you too. Bye!
Bye.
My greatest success as a resident assistant this year was being able to communicate effectively with my residents. In order to do this, I had to be able to meet them where they were. Coming in this position, I had residents that were freshmen and sophomore, but in order to ensure that I was the best RA for them, I had to meet them where they were. So that was understanding what they were going through and being able to use my life experiences to relate to them. And after a whole semester and a half of being an RA in Harper Tubman House, I realized that had to have been my biggest success because it allowed me to engage them through programs, board ideas, and so many other things. My communication skills encourage my residents to become business owners, to start their own clothing lines, to begin recording music, and to do whatever their heart's desire was. So in my opinion, as a resident assistant in Harper Tubman House, my greatest success was just being able to communicate. Throughout this academic school year, my residence hall has faced several challenges. As staff, we were forced to work without a resident director for 2 months. And being that my entire staff and team, we were all new RAs and new DAs, none of us really understood all the things that came with this position, all the paperwork and all the things that we had to file correctly. So it was a learning curve and we had to adapt as a team in order to make this community the best that we could. Also, over the past semester, we experienced a global pandemic, so we were forced to become virtual. We were forced to find a way to connect with our residents in a way that was genuine and encouraging, but virtually through the phone. We weren't able to see their facial expressions or see what they were going through or happen to walk by them and see them shedding a tear. We had to rely on what we knew about them and things that they told us. And because of the relationships I built previous to the pandemic hitting, I was able to continue relationships with all of my residents and continue to build and assist them throughout their matriculation at Morgan. Throughout the past academic school year as a resident assistant, I learned the most important thing was that the little invitations, the little late night conversations, the Uno battles, the goofy laughs and the pranks were what really mattered. The small gestures is what made Harper a true community, a true family. Over the semester, our residents faced so much adversity, from living through a global pandemic to losing a friend and a resident. They had to learn how to cope with so much, as did the staff. But what made it special was me being an RA and knowing that sitting down with someone and laughing over an Uno battle sometimes is all they really need. Or sometimes when someone's having a hard day, that sometimes the resident just wanted somebody to hear what they were going through. So those small gestures I did along the way formed bonds that have lasted through anything. We sit through a global pandemic and most people don't even want to speak or call their friends, but I have residents that call me and check on me because through all them little gestures, I formed bonds and I found ways to engage my residents. So the biggest lesson I learned this year was that the small gestures I did truly made the biggest impact. Hey Ken, you busy?
No, what's up?
I've been trying to plan this program for civic engagement and I just can't think of anything.
Well, what is it for? What themes?
It's civic engagement, but I just don't know how I'm gonna do it.
Why don't you do a sip and paint?
Ooh, that's a good idea, but what if I give the paintings to patients? That way I'm helping the community and Morgan.
It's a good idea.
Thanks, sis! As a resident assistant in Harper Tubman House over the past academic school year, I learned quickly that my creativity was my biggest contribution to my community. I view everything through a creative lens. Any task that I was given, I challenged myself to do it as creatively as possible. For example, my monthly boards. I challenged myself to make boards that would not only engage my residents, but encourage them. For example, I've created Dr. Seuss boards that highlighted the goal, GPAs, and orgs, and anything that my residents wanted to do that would encourage them to keep pushing. Or my Women Empowerment board, where I took historical Black quotes from females and I post them all along the board, challenging my residents to read them every day and to stay motivated. As my first year as a resident assistant at Harper Tubman House comes to an end, I look back and I realize that if I could change anything or do anything differently, I wouldn't confine myself to a box. Coming into this position, I thought it was cookie-cutter lines of what our programs had to be or what they had to look like. But I quickly realized that if I just created programs that I thought would cause a reaction out of residents, it wouldn't be effective. They wouldn't get the message and they wouldn't understand what I was trying to get them to understand. So I had to start thinking about things outside of the box. And part of this came during the global pandemic when I was forced to engage my residents virtually. When I had to sit down with my staff and we had to plan out events such as MTV Cribs or HT Talents. We had to find ways to engage our residents that wasn't face-to-face or hand-eye contact or even a Kahoot. We had to find creative ways to keep them engaged. So if I could do anything over, I would take the lessons that I know now and begin next year with them. Welcome to Harper Tubman's Front Desk. The greatest skill that I've gained from working within this department would be my customer service. Coming in, I learned quickly, working the 8 to 10 a.m. shift every Monday, Wednesday, Friday my first semester, that a simple smile or enthusiastic good morning, or even just listening, truly listening to the callers when they call, really made a difference in their perception of Morgan State and our department. From talking to the custodians early in the morning and making jokes to even letting the front desk people in the morning. Just by simply saying good morning or opening the door with a smile, it changed their perception of not only me, but of ORLH. The best way I know how to continue to support the ORLH mission is to continue to uplift, encourage, and enlighten my residents. During this pandemic, we know more than ever how important human interaction is to all of us. So the best way I know how to push forward our mission is to continue to reach out to my residents, encourage them, check on their mental well-being, and make sure that no matter what I'm doing, I'm fostering an environment that encourages their personal growth and their positive achievements. My name is LaDonna Wyatt, and thank you for joining me on my virtual tour of Harper Tubman. I hope to see you here next year. Bye! Customer service. Not community service. Customer service. Okay, let's do this. Hey, Faith!
Hey, LaDonna.
Wait a second.
Service. So, welcome to the Harper Desk.